Hi, I'm General Booty. I'm the quarterback at the University of Oklahoma, and you are now tuned into the greatest podcast on turf. Enjoy.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to this week's bi-weekly NFL mock draft. Some big games in college the other day. Michigan, Ohio State, Oregon. How did Oregon State play?
Oregon State played Washington.
Oregon State played
Washington. Or no, they didn't.
No, Washington State played Washington. Oregon State played. Yes.
Yeah, it was pretty much rivalry week.
Yeah.
Learned a lot this weekend. The NFL draft order shaking up some. We're currently recording this Monday, November 27th at 5 p.m., so the Vikings and the Bears have not played yet. Could shake up the order a little bit. As you guys can tell, though, this is pretty much our post-college football mock draft. Now that college football is over, beside the bowl games, pretty much.
Championships and bowl games, but...
Yeah.
Which we'll do another mock draft after that, but...
Yeah, we will. Yup. But this is our post-regular season college football mock draft. We got a little bit of discrepancies on our last mock draft, but people didn't like our philosophy behind some of the picks. People didn't really like the direction we went. So here, we're going to give you guys a 100% accurate mock draft in November. So here we go. Chicago up on the clock at 1.
I think I'm still standing on the point of you have the 1 pick. Granted, it's Carolina's. In theory, you have the 4 pick. You're in a position where I don't believe Justin Fields is the problem. However, you can get a top quarterback in the last 20 years who is on a rookie deal, and you can kind of start over. I feel like it's kind of silly to not take him. You trade Justin Fields, you get whatever capital that you can get from him, kind of start back over. That's what I would do. I will reaffirm that I don't think Justin Fields is the problem and Atlanta should be calling for him. But I still think they should take Caleb Williams here.
I think what Chicago should do with this pick is trade it and bring in they could probably get more than what they got for Bryce Young last year, if we're being honest, because Drake May and Caleb Williams probably could have either been the number 1 pick last year if they were in that draft class, if we're being honest. So they could probably get more than 3 firsts, a couple of seconds, and a DJ Moore for this pick. I think they should trade it back, but we're not doing trades here. But with that being said, I mean, the way that it goes in the NFL, teams don't really give a shit about what they should do. They kind of do what they want, so it's probably Caleb in this mock draft, if we're being honest.
Do you think Drake is better? Is that what that was saying?
No, that's me saying that as much as it shouldn't be, that they'll probably end up drafting Caleb. Okay. Number 2, Arizona. Easiest pick of the mock. Bring some help to Kyler. Hollywood Brown's a free agent.
Yeah, their offense looks horrible. It's Marvin Harrison or Olu Fashanu. Marvin Harrison is generational talent and receiver. I don't think that they let him slide.
Yeah, no way. Number 3, New England Patriots.
Brock Bowers.
I was going to say this real life screams Brock Bowers or like Joe Alt. But, for the sake of the mock, Patriots are sitting at 3 for a goddamn reason.
They keep benching quarterbacks, which is so stupid.
The Patriots drafted Mac Jones. That's why they're sitting here at 3. It's time for a replacement. It's time for the Patriots to bring in another good quarterback. Since the first good quarterback since Tom Brady left. So it's time, Drake May. You are a New England Patriot. Chicago back up at 4.
I feel like we need to take the Texans approach. Because you landed Caleb Williams here. The Texans brought in receivers. And they brought in linemen.
Did the Texans bring in receivers?
Mid ones, but yes.
Okay, there we go.
Tank Dell's good.
Tank Dell is good.
Robert Woods is okay.
Tank Dell was
Dalton Schultz is a receiver, technically, if you think about it.
In theory, but these guys were not the 4th pick. Just to throw it out there.
I agree.
So, with that being said...
Will Anderson ain't here.
Will Anderson is not here. So, where are you going with this?
No, I'm just saying no to Fashanu, but...
I mean, that's fine with me. I mean, their O-line has been very subpar this year, to say the least. I don't remember the name. What's the name? I always get them mixed up. Who's their starting left tackle? I get him mixed up with the guy from Arizona.
Charles Leno is Chris Humphries and Charles Leno.
Braxton Jones. Braxton Jones has been okay so far. He's been okay. Darnell Wright has been okay so far. But you probably need better than Braxton Jones, if we're being honest, if you want to protect Caleb Williams and really get this offense going and kind of build around your quarterback the right way, the opposite of how they did with Jay Fields. So, I mean, bring in Olu Fashanu. It's one of the best. He would have been a top 5 pick last year. Just bring him in, one of the best tackle prospects we've seen in a minute. Washington at 5. This has to be trenches on either side.
I agree.
It 100% has to be.
After trading away Sweat and Chase Young.
And their O-line just being terrible.
Does it have to be... Did they show that they don't want to build through the trenches on D-line after trading away Chase Young and Montez Sweat? Instead of trading away like a Deron Payne?
That's true.
Just throwing it out there. Because why would you trade those guys?
I'm leaning more towards Joe Alt here anyway, if I'm being honest with you, just because they have the weapons on offense. They have capital invested in them anyway. Sounds like they're sticking with Sam Howell. He's been pretty good this year. Yes. You got to protect him. If he can't keep getting hit how he's getting hit, hopefully he makes it through the season unscathed.
The tackles are Charles Leno and Andrew Wiley.
They did just bring in Andrew Wiley. Charles Leno, he can go. Joe Alt is huge, 6'8", 3-something. Big boy, bring him in. Protect your franchise quarterback in Sam Howell. It's that simple.
In a division with edge rushers.
Yeah. Seriously,
the whole division, so.
Giants at 6.
Speaking of the division, Giants have 3 glaring needs. And it's obvious. Quarterback, you can argue it because Daniel Jones is not the problem as of right now. He is banged up, and their offense sucks.
Tommy DeVito, though, man, give him his flowers.
Sure. O-line is the worst in football.
Yes.
On track to break the sack record, I am almost positive.
Yep.
And the receiving core needs work.
Yep.
And unfortunately for them, we just took the 2 tackles. Granted, they have not had success drafting tackles beside Andrew Thomas because Evan Neal was a bust.
I think Evan Neal will be fine. Honestly, I think he'll be better at guard. If he can go play guard where he plays, I feel like he profiles better as a tackle, but he fits better at guard, if that makes sense.
The problem is there's no linemen here that I think are...
I mean, I think they could get away with a Talise Fuaga. He does provide that versatility that could play to their hand.
He would need to test really well.
I mean, I think Talise Fuaga can easily be a top 10 pick. He's stud tackle. He's gone up against all the best guys in the Pac-12 and done fine. Like Atu, when they went to war.
Can there be 3 tackles in the first 6 picks?
With the team needs, yes. And just because it is such a positional need for a lot of these teams, yes. Although this is a solid tackle class, to be honest. So I can see why you could argue a pivot. But if we're pivoting, it's probably Malik Neighbors.
That's the guy I was...
Malik Neighbors. And this is a really good receiver class, too, between Marvin, Malik Neighbors, Roma Dunze, the dudes from Texas. This is a very good receiver class. Malik Neighbors.
I would lean Neighbors here.
Who are they bringing in to help Baker?
They're not... Bo Nix better not be... I swear, Bo Nix first round pick.
It sounds like Jaden Daniels also played his way into the first round this past weekend.
The problem is there's so many quarterbacks that are like 24 years old and
age,
hate it.
To me, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't. Joe Burrow was 24.
You're cherry picking.
It's a small sample size. I get it, but I'm just saying, like, it's
if
not.
You can't make it out of college in 3 years, and I don't want you as my franchise quarterback. I'm sorry.
Maybe dudes just love college football.
Yeah, Bo Nix loved it in Auburn. He's having the time of his life in Auburn.
Tampa Bay at 7. Where are they going? I mean, I think there's a chance Baker may earn himself one more season.
The thing is, if they don't love any quarterbacks, then yes, I agree.
Yeah, that's fair. But I mean, what's the difference from Bo Nix and Baker Mayfield? Baker, gotta be close to the same age. They gotta be similar ages. What is
Bo Nix will be 24 in February.
okay? How old's Baker?
He's probably 28.
Not much of a fucking difference. Okay, so a couple of years difference. I mean, but let's be real here. Tampa, they're an aging team on both sides of the ball for the most part, especially in their receiver room. Mike Evans could be out after this year. That was kind of the talk of the offseason for him, was that he wanted out of Tampa after this year. So in theory, we could just go get Mike Evans, but younger, and Rome Odunze. Could do that. Profile the same. They play very similarly, in my opinion. Guy's a baller. Cool name, too. They could just keep drafting interior D linemen and draft Johnny Newton out of Illinois and just have him, Vita Vea, and Kalijah Cansey. And just run like a 5-2. Could go Brock Bowers. That's kind of where I'm thinking here. I mean, this pick should not take this long. It's fucking Tampa Bay.
That's why it's taking long.
I know.
There's not like a glaring need. It's just a bunch of mid.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of where I'm. Like, running back as their second need is so far from the truth. That's so far from the truth. It's not.
Rashad White is not the problem. I'm telling you.
I can tell you that in confidence.
I don't know who the problem is, but it is not Rashad White.
Yeah. Starts with coaching.
We can go Brock. I mean, he's Brock's the best player available. It's a tight end, though.
I mean, I was thinking more of an edge. Chop Robinson, Laiatu Latu, Jared Verse, Dallas Turner. I was thinking more edge. Their edge guys ain't getting any younger. Shaq Barrett's getting up there. Joe Tyrone Shoyinka has not been who they thought.
They like this kid, don't they?
Yaya Diaby's alright, yeah. He's more of a rotational guy, though, I feel, from when I see them play. I think they need to try and bring back that smash mouth D-line they had. Shaq Barrett's getting old. Let him develop some of these young guys. I'm leaning Laiatu Latu or Chop Robinson here.
If you want the Shaq Barrett mold, wouldn't it be Chop more?
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. That's how I threw him up there. I mean, Laiatu's probably better, but Chop Robinson. Jets at 8. Elijah Vera Tucker 2.0.
Why did we take Rome? Don't they take a bunch of Washington guys?
Yeah, they do, but...
God damn it. That was such a layup.
That was him or Penix.
Such a layup.
We just... Jets at 8. I mean... It's...
Rodgers sounds like Rodgers coming back.
For some reason, and they have like a 4... They don't have any shot to make the playoffs, and Rodgers is still coming back.
But it sounds like he's coming back next year, at least.
Yes. It has to be 100%. I don't care. We're there at the 8th pick. You take the best OT available.
I think I agree with you.
It's
the only other direction is receiver. Yes.
Offensive tackle or receiver.
You can argue Brock Bowers because of his skill set.
Yes.
Tackle is definitely a big need because their offensive line gets hurt
Every game.
Every game.
You look at it like this, though. Realistically, they're probably going to make a play for Devontae Adams, if we're being honest. They're probably going to make a play.
They're going to make a play for, I think, a tackle or a Devontae Adams.
A Devontae Adams, Mike Evans. I mean, there's ample receivers that will probably be out there this offseason.
So the thing that... Yeah.
I think that they're going to prioritize the future of whatever quarterback they draft on day 2 and get an offensive tackle. I know how you feel about it, but Talise Fuaga, again, his player comp is Elijah Vera Tucker. Both provide that versatility. They can play everywhere. If these guys do keep getting injured, they can slide multiple places, and it has worked out for them. That's my vote for this pick.
I mean, we can do it.
I know how you feel about it, but...
2 Elijah Vera Tuckers on the same team just don't even make sense.
It does. It makes perfect sense.
It just don't.
I mean, since you gave me that one, I'll give you the next one. Justin Herbert picking in the top 10. You love to fucking see it, baby.
Bo Nix.
Yup. How is quarterback not on this list of needs? It's comical.
The agenda pushing is amazing. The Chargers, they're in a world of hurt right now. Seems like Eckler kind of hit that wall that we didn't want to happen, but it seems like he's starting to hit that. Keenan Allen's only getting older. Quentin Johnson doesn't look like he's going to be the guy.
No.
Rashawn Slater is the
stud.
Is the piece that they are really holding on to.
Sports fans are starting to. I've seen a few accounts on Twitter waiting for Justin Herbert to pull a Drew Brees.
This team is genuinely Justin Herbert and Rashawn Slater.
Yeah.
And then there's just they're talented on paper, but
on paper they're really good, but they're not that good.
They're not.
I mean, my favorite is yesterday night during the game. They panned to Joey Bosa on IR, sitting in a press box by himself, eating a little thing of Raisin Bran. Like one of them, the cereals they used to have school breakfast. He was eating a thing of Raisin Bran in the press box by himself. The Chargers are going to have to make a move. Justin Herbert's locked up. They got to just try and keep bringing in talent and go splurge and go spend money and use your draft picks.
I will say that Herbert does like throwing the tight ends.
I know he does. That's why Gerald Everett's was sneaky good last year, and he's been sneaky this year.
But he's not good.
Yes, but who is good?
Brock Bowers.
Yup. There we go.
Does it solve any of their big needs?
No. But
is it a Chargers pick?
It helps pad Justin Herbert's stats for Twitter.
Yes.
That's what that pick does. Pick 10, the Titans.
Do they just help? You help.
You help Will Levis.
Will Levis, yes. Sorry,
You need a playmaker. Roma Dunze, Keon Coleman, Emeka Egbuka, Adonai Mitchell, Xavier Legette, Xavier Worthy, Jalen Polk, Johnny Wilson. There is ample receivers.
Johnny Wilson's 6'8".
Yeah, just tell him and D-Hop, just Hail Mary.
Do you take Odunze because the Traylon Burks experiment didn't work out? Or do you say the Traylon Burks experiment didn't work out and not take Roma Odunze?
I think that this is Keon Coleman. We've done it before. They need not only a playmaker, but they need a big explosive playmaker. And that's Keon Coleman. He gets it done on all levels of the field.
Him and Odunze are both.
Yeah. Me personally, I like Keon Coleman a little bit more than Roma Odunze.
I don't really care to argue.
I mean, realistically, though, this has to be an offensive pick. You got to bring some support to Will Levis. Derrick Henry's clearly regressing. You have D-Hop for one more year, but outside of that, you have no playmakers. I understand the offensive line is terrible, but, could go with J.C. Latham here. I wouldn't hate it, but I think you gotta bring in playmakers on the offense. To me,
cool,
that's Keon Coleman. Raiders.
Why can't I not think
Oh, shit.
Quarterback is a need.
It is. Could this is where we see our third quarterback?
Could we start to see the mid quarterbacks kind of starting to be taken?
I love how J.J. McCarthy's down here in the 50s now compared to QB3.
It's a new coach.
We don't know who the coach will be.
Coaches usually tend to bring in guys that they like.
Mm-hmm.
So could we see a Jaden Daniels who is probably 25 years old?
I seen a highlight of Jaden Daniels throwing to Brandon Ayuk the other day. So, yeah. Jaden Daniels a little bit older.
So is Bo Nix. So is Michael Penix.
Yep. But you look at it like this.
The only one that's not old, and I don't think is old, is
Shador.
I was gonna say the kid from Duke.
Oh,
I don't think he's staying.
Riley Leonard,
yeah.
Shador ain't coming out. My QB3 is Michael Penix, despite the hype around McCarthy, Bo Nix, and Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels having a very good season. I've seen the numbers. He's put up better numbers than Burrow did his big year. So he's got that going for him.
I think I'm starting to lean Daniels more than I am Penix.
I'll give you Daniels here. Guy, I mean, Jaden Daniels should be up there in Heisman consideration. The guy's a ball. I'm not taking anything away from him. Putting up better numbers than Joe Burrow did during his Heisman and number one pick season. And it's going under the radar is something ridiculous to me. So props to Jaden Daniels, and he earned himself a top 12 pick.
Saints only have 2 needs. Yeah,
Oh, what? Okay.
Quarterback can argue.
Quarterback can argue, but they're tied into Derek Carr for a minute. Receiver, offensive tackle.
Out of curiosity.
No.
No? I
No.
thought with the name of Bo.
Alabama.
All right.
You got to get Trevor Penning off the field. You also just their secondary ain't getting any younger.
A Kool-Aid with honey badgers?
And Marshawn Lattimore. Lattimore's Ohio State, right?
Yeah.
Figure.
And LSU, so we can't really make anything happen there.
No. Trevor Penning's bad. They could go and help just keep... I mean, their defense is getting old. Their offense is getting old.
The whole team is getting old.
Could use another receiver. Because we've seen Chris Olave go down, and they have nobody.
Does Trevor Penning start?
I hope not. I mean, when he plays, it's really bad.
J.C. Latham?
I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate J.C. Latham here. Just help protect Derek Carr. I mean, it's gross. This is a gross pick because they have a lot more needs than just D-line and tackle. But the Saints thing to do here is draft a random D lineman.
It's a little early for that.
I know. Top 12 for them is kind of new. When in doubt, though, you probably just go best player available. And to me right now is probably Jared Verse or Johnny Newton or Leatu Latu. I know I feel like they're weird. They have a lot of capital invested, but they're not that good. They're like the Chargers.
Newton does scream a Saint.
He does. And he's so good, too. Him and Brian Bursey on the interior of that D-line with an aging Cam Jordan. Carl Granderson's in there.
Damn, JPP. Holy shit.
Johnny Newton's the pick. Need I say more?
It's fine.
Green Bay. Rome Odunze fits the build that they love at receiver.
Do they still want to hold on to Christian Watson, though?
That's true.
To be their next big thing. O-line is can argue O-line here because their O-line is the definition of gets hurt every single year.
Yeah. I mean, they don't draft O-linemen, but in this mock,
I don't know any of their O-line.
Bakhtiari I don't think has played. Is Elton Jenkins healthy?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the one I know.
They got, I know Josh Myers. And, he's, I think, Ohio State.
Who the hell is this?
Zach Thomas. Can you check Josh Myers? He's Ohio State, right?
Yeah.
Boom. Yeah, this is J.C. Latham. Bring in an SEC tackle and just start to help protect Jordan Love. So you can try and get a run game going.
Yes.
And they need to develop a run game. Rams. Who do you want to sit behind Matt Stafford for one more year and then take over the offense with a 35-year-old Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua going into a
Well, if somebody sits behind Matt Stafford for another year, they're going to be 35 themselves.
That's true.
Because the only quarterbacks
with the top two here. Yeah.
Now, I'm pretty sure Puka was in Washington.
Puka was BYU.
No. Didn't he transfer to Washington?
Puka Nacua? I don't think so.
He started in Washington, I'm pretty sure.
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
I'm 90% sure he started in Washington. Yeah. That is a Washington jersey if I've ever seen one.
That is.
Yeah, baby. So he might know what dude's
Bringing his former team. I think they need help on defense. I think that this has to. I mean, this is either an edge rusher or a corner. What do you value more in your team?
Edge.
Keep them local, like Latu.
I think that's a good fit.
Yeah. Bengals.
Huh. Well, is T. Higgins leaving?
I don't know. If I had to guess, yes. If I had to guess, T. Higgins is not a Bengal next year.
So, they still need O-line. So I'm going to stand on that. Granted,
Thanks.
there's not much here.
I mean, I feel like you could argue a Amarius Mims here, or Graham Barton.
But Odunze is here.
And, you know, yeah.
He's the best player.
It's true. It's a shame Malik Neighbors ain't here.
It is a shame. That would have fit the storyline much better.
I mean, I feel like if T. Higgins leaves, Tyler Boyd's also an impending free agent. You got to do something. You can't go into next season with Joe E.B. coming back with just Jamar. I mean, they could, but they can't.
The weapons on his team are fastly falling off.
Yes. So what they need to do is they either need to bring back T. Higgins, but if I had to guess, T. Higgins is going to go get receiver one money from a team that desperately needs it. And the Bengals aren't going to be able to pay that because then they're going to have to reset the market with Jamar the following year.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I like Rome Odunze here.
I agree.
Damn.
Buffalo.
Who the hell would have thought 15 and
16.
16 would be Cincy and Buffalo?
Cincy kind of makes sense. Buffalo, I don't know what the hell's going on there. Buffalo could use a receiver, for sure.
They could, but they could also use corner, edge, linebacker.
Defense.
Yeah. I mean,
They invest a lot of capital in the D-line, and it hasn't really been working out for them too much.
I think that this pick has to be a corner. Trey White, injured. Teron Johnson's been solid. They did just trade for Rasul Douglas. I'll give them that. The Khair Elam experiment has not worked out particularly for them. This could be Kool-Aid. This could be a Cooper DeJean who could potentially fill the safety need for them with an aging Jordan Poyer and
Hyde.
Micah Hyde.
Who are both free agents, ain't they? I think they are.
One of them is, I don't remember from our last week's episode, but one of them is a free agent. They did bring in Taylor Rapp out of free agency, but with two mid-30s or two safeties in their mid-30s, you're going to need to replace them at some point. I like the Cooper DeJean pick here. He can slide the corner if they're dealing with injuries if they need to. He can learn from two of the better safeties in football. I like that. It's more of a long-term play.
Could also take Ibuka from Ohio State.
Could also go Emeka Egbuka.
Because they don't have a solidified wide receiver 2.
Khalil Shakir, bro.
He's a burner.
Does the emergence of Dog Kincaid make you want to think that they might pivot from this, or no? Or you still think that they...
It needs to be defense. Because it's selling them right now, kind of. But O-line's selling, everything's selling them. They're just falling apart in our faces.
You pick a defensive player on the board, and I'm fine with it. It doesn't matter who to me. It could be Nate Wiggins or Kool-Aid, Cooper DeJean, Bo Nix.
I think
not Bo Nix.
The best player available.
Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid. Yeah.
Arizona at 17. Marvin Harrison Jr. earlier at the second overall pick.
I'm pretty sure they could use secondary help too.
They could, but they could also, they need everything on defense.
They have Buda Baker.
With the team starting fresh, I mean, they have their solidified left tackle. They have their quarterback of the future. They got their weapon earlier in the draft. I think it's got to be one of them cornerstone pieces. I think it's Dallas Turner or Jared Verse. I think they got to be edge.
To be honest, Zayvon Collins has been alright, hasn't he?
He's been okay.
Okay.
He kind of, I mean, it's weird though. He kind of does everything for them.
I feel like I like Dallas Turner more than I like Jared Verse.
That's fine. I disagree, but I'll give you that one. Denver.
If Jared Verse came out last year, I'd like him more.
It's fair. I hate mocking for Denver because we really don't know. That's what we really don't know what Denver's going to do.
They're second in the AFC West.
Russell Wilson's back.
Did they win 6 in a row? 5 in a row?
6, I think. It's 5 or 6 they're up to.
People thought that they were going to sell. I'm people.
Yeah, we did. I can attest.
Said they're on a winning streak.
Yeah.
So you could argue edge here.
I mean,
the team ain't that bad.
they're not. Bring in a player that's going to help you win immediately. I mean, what is this? 20v20? I think Judy's a free agent after this year. Outside, I mean, Cortland Sutton's been really good. Dude's a touchdown machine.
He is good. He's just always had like the injury kind of bug that plagues him week to week type of situation.
Yeah.
But you can argue receiver because I don't think the Jerry Jeudy experiment is working.
Could use O-line. Mike McGlinchey's terrible.
Mims being here at 18. The value's fine.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, they don't have any capital really invested in their edge, if I'm being honest. I mean, they're good.
Stop the fall of Jared Verse.
Either that or Emeka Egbuka and just give Russ more weapons because they got to make a run.
I think Jared Verse.
I mean, yeah, they don't have a lot of capital invested in their edge rushers. Granted, they've been good, but bringing in a Jared Verse who you know what you're going to get, put some capital there, and just get a nice plethora of edge rushers in that division can never hurt you.
All right, Atlanta, the new Justin Fields' new location, new house.
Michael Penix. This is the best case scenario for Penix. Protected by a good O-line, great playmakers around him. You get him a head coach, and
what if we know for sure that Justin Fields is here?
If Justin Fields is 100% a Falcon, for this mock draft, Justin Fields is a Falcon. Okay.
He has to be. There's no other choice.
Yeah.
He's a Falcon.
Seattle.
Falcon.
Okay, he's a Falcon.
I declared it.
Okay. Justin Fields a Falcon.
Yes. Because Justin Fields in his mock is somewhere. Because he's not in Chicago.
Yes.
So, you can argue Seattle. I think he's Atlanta all the way.
This is...
Now, could this be Chicago's pick?
Doubt it.
I don't know what Fields is worth.
If Justin Fields is a Falcon, this is his old teammate Emeka Egbuka. That's his pick. That's the pick. It's got to be. Yeah. Is that what you were kind of going to?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean it's got to be. If
they don't have much of a receiver outside.
No, they have Drake London and
Coppins.
Matt Collins. Who's their receiver too?
Van Jefferson and Scotty Miller.
There we go. Colts at 20.
Colts are actually playing decent football right now.
Yeah, I know. It's weird.
It is.
It's fucking whack, isn't it?
Colts are just like a good foundational football. I don't know how to describe this squad. I feel like receiving, they're alright. You're not going to draft the receiver.
Pittman's a free agent after this season. So.
I don't like that.
Pittman's probably going to want receiver one money. We talked about it last week in our team need video.
I feel like you can argue receiver. I
mean, this has to be Bo Nix or Penix, right?
Corner.
Yeah. I mean, I don't hate corner. Think it's a little early to replace Shaq Leonard.
I agree. I don't really think they need defensive line that bad.
I mean, Kwity Paye's been all right for them. They still got D-Buck. Grover Stewart still playing for them? Or is he a Titan?
I don't see him. Oh, he's suspended. What do you do? I shouldn't find out.
Probably
PD's out of the way.
So, you're telling me it is Cooper DeJean or Nate Wiggins? Beef up that secondary?
I think it's Nate.
I respect it and I like it. Vikings at 21.
Another team that's hard because we don't know their quarterback situation. Could it be Josh Dobbs? Yes.
Yeah.
Could it be Kirk Cousins?
Yeah.
Maybe. Could it be Bo Nix? Sure.
Or Michael Penix. Or
Penix.
Shador.
Probably not Shador unless it's next year.
Yeah.
They could use O-line help.
Yeah. They have a lot of capital at tackle. So that kind of makes me pivot from O-line. Just because I don't like any of the interior O-linemen here.
They could use D-line help.
They could use any help they could use help everywhere on defense. They have 11 holes on the defense.
Do we take the best available defensive player?
And Braylon Trice.
Just your opinion, the best available defensive player.
The best defensive player, in my opinion, here is Cooper DeJean because of the versatility he provides. But realistically, when you're a team that's kind of in a weird spot and you just need to bring in players that can immediately have an impact, it's Braylon Trice. Defense, you bring in edge rushers and you try and put some pressure to help take away the terribleness of your secondary.
Seattle is up next, and quarterback is starting to look like a potential need for them. The only thing that's not a need for Seattle is corner.
And wide
There's
receiver.
no way you get another corner and wide receiver. And running back.
Left tackle.
Left tackle. They have Jason Peters at right tackle. I remember we got clowned one time for taking a tackle
Well,
in a
because
Seattle mock draft last year.
yeah, because Abe Lucas is
And Charles Cross. And Charles Cross is fine, but
Charles Cross has been good.
and we were yeah.
They need a
Abraham
quarterback.
Lucas is on IR, but they currently have Jason Peters at right tackle.
I get it, but if you got to think this time next year, Abe Lucas will be off IR. So they need a quarterback. Gino got paid. It was a very, very team-friendly kind of contract.
Where's Seattle at?
What do you mean?
What state is it in?
Washington.
Just throwing it out there, you know what I'm saying?
Oregon is a state as well. But it's Michael Penix.
What? Oregon is a state.
I know.
Right?
I was asking myself.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Penix, keep him in state. Back-to-back Washington players. Steelers, 23.
Now, a new offensive coordinator could bring in a new quarterback.
Doubt it, but
And Bo Nix fits the build of Kenny Pickett and the Steelers.
Kenny Pickett's also probably 6 years younger than Bo Nix, just to throw it out there, but
How old is Kenny? I feel like Kenny Pickett's old.
I was just making an old joke about Bo Nix, but
Yeah, I feel like Kenny Pickett's old too. He's just old.
yeah, but
Because
this will be
Pickett was-
this will be going into his third year.
So he will be 26 in his third year. So he was old too.
Holy shit!
I knew he was old. Yeah, he was.
All right, Steelers. They need something in the secondary room besides JPJ. Now, whether it's Cooper DeJean, who would be a very fun chess piece for Mike Tomlin, or just Cam Kitchens, who's probably the better overall prospect than Cooper DeJean, but doesn't bring as much to the table.
I feel like they go Cam Kitchens.
I was going to say the opposite, but, you know,
We can go Cooper if you want.
I think that Cooper DeJean,
We can go Cooper and then just give me the Cowboys pick.
that's fine.
I was probably gonna have it anyway, but
Yeah.
Texans are back. Or Texans are up. Did they pick before? No. They didn't.
No, this is the Browns pick.
So Texans are up. They're doing everything right. They just got to keep continuing what they're doing. Replace what is leaving. I'm not sure if that much is leaving, but they brought in Derek Barnett to really change the edge rushing room. You know, good luck.
I mean, I wouldn't hate offensive tackle here just because Titus Howard had the injury bug as of late, and he could, in theory, slide inside to guard if they needed him to, when they could go with an Omarius Mims to pair with Laramie Tunsil. They could.
Curtis Howard is listed as a guard. I don't know how accurate it is.
I mean, he plays tackle for him when the guys are banged up and shit. I mean,
I don't mind Mims to just solidify the offensive build
yeah.
because I feel like
I mean, with their defense, I mean, I don't know really if there's a defensive player here that really does it for me, or I think that would like do it for D'Amico Ryans. I mean, I like JT Tuimoloau, however, I think JT Tuimoloau. I like him. Some could argue it's a little early. I think this is kind of where it could start. He could start to be mocked too.
Does Cam Kitchens fit the bill?
They got Petrie and they bought in
Jimmy Ward.
But
he is getting old.
That's true. I wouldn't hate a Cam Kitchens here. Him and Petrie. Leonard Taylor as well out of Miami.
They could use corner help also.
Yeah, outside of Stingley.
So, like, if TJ Tampa tests really well.
Yeah, it could be.
I feel like
Kamari
he could be a
Lassiter's a
bro.
stud. I don't like Kalen King.
Because I feel like, doesn't he have a similar go to Ward?
Mm-hmm.
Just throwing it out there.
Alright, if I'm mocking this pick, though, I mean, I'm going to go with Amarius Mims here. Just the best O-lineman on the board. That's kind of where I'm at with it.
I already took it. I'm locked in. Miami's up.
Who's the fastest player?
Just look at 40 times filter on fastest, and you are a Miami Dolphin.
I mean, their whole starting offensive line contracts expire after this year, so they're probably not too thrilled with the Amarius Mims pick. But it's a good thing Graham Barton's still here because the tier gap for me isn't that much. Like, there's not much of that big of a difference for those two. I think the defense is fine, for being honest.
I would say it's like, yeah.
I think
that's a good pick because
Graham Barton, just their whole O-line's contracts are expiring. They're not bringing back all five, so it's like you got to do draft at some point.
I agree.
Bo Nix.
No. All right, Cowboys are up.
Shador for the storyline.
I don't really like any of these
Shador
picks
for the storyline.
Let's see. Cowboys. What do the Cowboys need? They could use a little bit of offensive line help. Still going to stand on that.
Yup.
And Graham Barton is such a Cowboy. Just fits the build so well. But he's not here, obviously, so we're not doing that. Cowboys do love their safeties, but I think they're fine. I'm hoping that McCarthy's fired and Dan Quinn's new head coach, and then our defensive back coach is the defense coordinator and will be good.
Yep.
Because our defensive back coaches somehow
Turn Trayvon Diggs and Deron Bland in the All-Pros.
Deron Bland was a 5th-round pick. They just say he finds the ball well. Like, yeah, looks like it.
No shit.
It's advanced scouting right there. So, like, you can argue safety because I think Jaron Curse is kind of, like, taking a slight step back. However, I'm going to do the pick that I want to see. And I want to see a game changer. I want to see somebody that can completely take over, turn a play up for a touchdown. I'm scrolling just to throw you off because you just keep looking. I'm unfortunately taking a Texas player in Xavier Worthy. I want somebody that can take it to the house at any given play, and I think the Cowboys are missing that.
I don't hate it. That's kind of where my mind was at, like, going into this pick. So, Detroit.
We're aligned, but there's not one there.
No.
Detroit. Quarterback.
Hendon Hooker's practice window did open up today, just to throw it out there.
Okay.
Opened up today. We fumbled Joe Milton. I mean,
He got an arm.
he does.
If there's one thing.
If Anthony Richardson was raw, even more raw than he was, then you got Joe Milton. That's my player comp. If Anthony Richardson, but probably 5 times as raw, Joe Milton.
Joe Milton's right off the cap.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Richardson got a slight sear to him.
All right. Detroit. This is where it gets tough. I mean, they need secondary so goddamn bad.
And I agree. I feel like the only bright spot right now is Brian Branch.
Yeah, I mean, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's been hurt all year.
They could use corner and they can use another safety. So
I feel like Kalen King being here, it's kind of. I feel like this is about his range. Like, where it's like, all right, Kalen King's on the board. This is where we could see him go.
I feel like I like Tampa more.
You like T? I can get down with that. TJ Tampa.
Yeah, let's reach a little bit for the culture.
Jags.
Jags are up. Just had a good game with the Texans.
Trevor heard you talking shit and back-to-back weeks.
Glad I saved his fantasy career.
Him
and Ridley starting to do good. Of course.
Ridley had 2 good weeks, but
We're just waiting for the fall off.
this just screams next week.
This feels like Bo Nix isn't getting picked in the first round.
Yeah. I don't give a shit. He's not that good. Jags. I mean, I feel like this could be safety. Could also be corner, although their secondary hasn't been playing awful.
I feel like Cam Kitchen's going to be bad here.
I don't hate it. I mean, I know, what's his name? Andre Sisco's been good. Who's their other starting safety? Is it Rayshawn Jenkins still? I feel like it's Rayshawn. Or is it Rayshawn Jenkins? What the hell is his name?
Rayshawn Jenkins.
Yeah, I mean.
Could he use the interior D lineman? Should they stay in Florida? Little Leonard Taylor action?
I don't hate it.
He's a sophomore? How the hell is he coming out?
Mm-hmm.
Can't be right.
Redshirt sophomore, maybe.
Ah, yeah.
I'm leaning Cam Kitchens here. They need to beef up that secondary some, especially in the AFC where quarterbacks just throw the ball all over the place.
Chiefs are up.
Pick a receiver. I'll give you the pick.
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs are in a position where there's only one receiver. Kelsey, who is potentially retiring with Jason Kelsey. Wouldn't surprise me seeing going to Hall of Fame together.
Yeah.
They're having a drop problem right now. Justin Watson's seeing the field, and it's just not good. I think we'll take Mitchell out of Texas here.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't hate that pick at all. Just keep bringing in receiver help. Now, realistically, it'll be whatever receiver Mahomes wants. But in this case, he wanted a Donnie Mitchell.
49ers are up. 49ers thing to do. I mean, their defensive line is amazing.
Troy Font now. Need to beef up the O-line. Trent Williams is going to be 35 after this season.
And
they still have some other holes.
Took a step back.
Troy Font now.
That's fine. Baltimore.
31. Damn.
Turned out to be a really good football team. Who is the best defensive lineman available?
JT Tuimoloau. His brother's rival out of Ohio State.
Yes. You got me. I'm sold.
Just, in my opinion, the best edge rusher on the board. Eagles at 32. We got a comment on our mock draft from a couple weeks ago earlier, and we're going to go by the book. We're not going for the storyline this time. We're going by the book. Eagles' biggest needs are DE and OT. Not wasting a first-round pick on a LB. So, D end or offensive tackle.
Why do they need offensive tackle so bad?
Because Lane Johnson can't stay healthy and Jordan Mailata sucks. If I'm being honest, that's just me being honest. Without Lane Johnson, they're bad, and Jordan Mailata's not that good. But to me, there is not an offensive tackle here that's really worth it. So, F that. We're going to pivot. The Eagles thing to do here, I mean, they need corner bad.
Yeah.
Slay regressed. Bradbury sucks.
So, what better
than keep them local? Kalen King out of Penn State to close it off.
Yeah, don't ever tell us not to do a storyline. We love storylines.
We love a storyline. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys Thursday.
See ya.
Peace.